Scottish football never disappoints. We've got a club captain and his teammate dragged into court over an alleged assault. Steven Naismith swapping tactics boards for baking trays. Celtic scrambling for a goalkeeper after Kasper Schmeichel's injury. And Rangers slapping a massive £20 million price tag on Hamza Igamane as Ange Postecoglou lurks in the shadows. All right, listen up. If the don't smash that like your team's conceding a 90+5 screamer, nay doubt. Give us a hand here, eh? Let's take a quick spin and see what's happening out there before we dive into the main headlines. The Scottish Premiership is back after the international break, and things are heating up in the middle of the table. Just 9 points separate Hibernian in third from Ross County in ninth, and with only 3 rounds left before the dreaded split, every match is now worth its weight in gold. And speaking of challenges, Hearts have an absolute mountain to climb on Saturday, a trip to Celtic Park. Celtic are still cruising towards another league title, despite their home defeat to Rangers last time out, and need just 4 more wins to wrap it up. But Hearts can't afford to come away empty-handed. Steven Naismith's side are just 1 point ahead of Motherwell, and failure to pick up results now could land them in real trouble. The history books don't make for great reading if you're a Hearts fan to 25 defeats in their last 27 visits to Celtic Park. But hold on. They did manage a 2-0 win their last season, and Rangers have already proved that Brendan Rodgers' men can be beaten at home. Can Neil Critchley's side pull off another shock? Now, let's talk about Martin Boyle, Hibernian's main man. Fresh from helping Australia see off Indonesia and China, the 31-year-old forward is back and ready to continue his fine form against St. Johnstone. With 14 goals this season, he's already bettered last year's tally and could equal his best ever return for Hibs, set in 2020-21. Oh, and there's one more thing, his contract's up in 2 months, and talks over a new deal aren't happening yet. If he keeps scoring, will someone come in with an offer Hibs can't refuse? And if we're talking about pressure, Derek McGuinness is definitely feeling it at Kilmarnock. His side are only 1 point above Dundee, with St. Johnstone 5 points adrift, meaning any slip-up could see Killie dragged into a relegation scrap. But McGuinness has one major advantage. He's never lost to St. Mirren as Kilmarnock boss with 5 wins and 4 draws. Another 3 points here, and he'll be sleeping a little easier. Now, let's get into the main headlines. Drama at Dunfermline Athletic. As if a managerial shakeup and a high-profile signing weren't enough, now the club finds itself in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. Club captain Kyle Benedictus and on-loan defender Sam Fisher have appeared in court over allegations of assault to severe injury endangered the life following an incident in Edinburgh. Both players have been granted bail, but this legal case is far from over. Dunfermline released a short and sharp statement, essentially saying no comment for now. Fair enough, given the ongoing legal process, but this is the kind of distraction no club wants, especially in the thick of a season. Benedictus, a seasoned defender with stints at Dundee, Montrose, and Raith Rovers, joined the club in 2022, while Fisher is still carving out his career, currently on loan at Stenhausen Muir. This situation certainly isn't going to help his development, nor his chances of breaking into Dunfermline's first team anytime soon. And then there's Neil Lennon, newly installed as manager, who's probably wondering what on earth he's walked into. The former Hibs boss has already made waves by bringing in ex-Celtic and Tottenham midfielder Victor Wanyama, a proper statement signing for a club at this level. But instead of focusing on football, his first few weeks in charge are now shadowed by off-field controversy. Lennon's been talking about getting the team to play with more belief and urgency, and he'll need to inject that same energy into managing this crisis. The fans will be hoping his experience helps steady the ship, but scandals like this can derail even the best-laid plans. Well, here's a career twist you didn't see coming. Steven Naismith, once barking orders on the touchline, is now shaping loaves of sourdough. The former Hearts boss has lifted the lid on his unexpected foray into baking after being sacked last September. It all started the morning after a defeat to St. Mirren, a match he was already analyzing in his head, preparing for a bounce game, when bam, the dreaded phone call from the Hearts chief executive. You have been relieved of your duties. Just like that, years of constant football pressure disappeared, leaving him wondering what on earth to do next. Golf was out of the question. Scottish winters, of course. So he turned to cooking, and specifically sourdough. One class at Leslie's Kitchen in Ayrshire, and suddenly, Naismith had swapped tactics boards for flour gag. From maintaining a sourdough starter to wasting loads of flour in trial and error attempts, he was hooked. But it didn't stop there. He even reached out to Ian, the owner of Big Bear Bakery in Glasgow, asking for tips. One thing led to another, and before he knew it, he was pulling shifts in a professional bakery, learning the art of shaping, folding, and balling up dough. And apparently it worked. The quality of his bread improved dramatically. Now, fair play to him. Not every sacked manager finds a hobby that literally rises to the occasion. But here's the real question. Football fans, should Naismith be getting another shot in management soon, or is he better off sticking to baking? Trouble in goal for Celtic, and it all started with Kasper Schmeichel's unfortunate injury while on international duty with Denmark. The veteran shot stopper hurt his shoulder against Portugal, and because Denmark had used all their subs, he had to stay on the pitch, likely making things even worse. Now, Brendan Rodgers has a decision to make. Who takes the gloves in Schmeichel's absence? The obvious choice would be Viljami Sinisalo, the summer signing from Aston Villa, who has already made his debut for Celtic in the Scottish Cup. But wait, there's another name in the mix, Scott Bain. Bain's been around Celtic Park for years and knows the pressure of being the Hoops' #1. But former midfielder Stephen McGinn isn't convinced, pointing out that Bain has barely played in recent season. His last proper run in the team? 3 Premiership matches last season, and before that, he's been mostly warming the bench. McGinn reckons Celtic can't afford to take the risk and insists Sinisalo should be given the nod. Bain's record at Celtic isn't terrible. 78 matches, 66 goals conceded, and 40 clean sheets. But stats don't tell the whole story. If a keeper isn't playing regularly, can you really trust him to step up in a crucial title run-in? Should Celtic go with youth and potential in Sinisalo, or stick with Bain's experience despite his lack of game time? Rangers have a £20 million decision to make, and it involves none other than Hamza Igamane. The Moroccan forward, signed for just $2.5 million last summer, has turned out to be an absolute steal, firing in 14 goals so far this season, many of them in crucial moments. Now, the vultures are circling, and one of them just happens to be former Celtic boss Ange Postecoglou. Postecoglou, now in charge at Tottenham Hotspur, got a close look at Igamane when Spurs faced Rangers in a 1-1 Europa League draw at Ibrox in December. And let's be honest, he must have liked what he saw, because now Spurs are in the mix, alongside Everton, to snap him up in the summer. But Rangers aren't exactly rushing to cash in. With the club set for a major rebuild under its soon-to-be American owners, there's a strong case to keep hold of a young informed striker who's already proving his worth in big matches. And let's not forget that Cyril Dessers, despite being Rangers' top scorer with 22 goals, is the definition of a hot and cold player. One week he's a hero, the next he's supposedly heading for the exit. Then there's Vaclav Cerny, who's also been banging in the goals, but his loan situation needs sorting out. So Rangers have planted their flag, £20 million or nothing. The real question is whether anyone will actually pay that much. Because let's be honest, Scottish clubs rarely get that kind of money unless they're selling to an English club that's lost all sense of financial restraint. Should Rangers cash in on Igamane while his value is high, or hold firm and build the team around him? Comment below what you think about the news. Don't forget to leave a like on the video to help me out. I post videos every day talking about our Scottish football, so if you're not subscribed, you're missing out on the latest news. See you soon.